Hi, I'm Shahid Khan, the founder of the Yoga Method, Yogveda Yoga. Let me introduce you and walk you through the principles of Yogveda Yoga. To start with, Yogveda Yoga is based on the techniques described in the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. That is from where everything is built up from. The asanas, the pranayama, the principles of Raja Yoga, how you should understand your mind and channel your mind and ultimately strive to reach samadhi. Now, Yogveda Yoga first starts on a physical level because you need to understand how your body is influencing your mind and your breath. If your body is not straight, now straight is subjective, but we'll come to that. If your body is not straight, in the sense if the body is always being pulled by gravity, then you're constantly losing energy and getting tired, plus you get pains in those pressure points in your body. So the first asana principle in Yogveda Yoga is to correct the body, because if your body is correct, you can breathe correctly. If your body is crooked, if your swas, your back, your lumbar is closing on one side or the other, that closes your diaphragm, and that affects the way you breathe. Your breath affects the way you behave. That's the reason you start with the body first. Now, even when you start with the body first, you need to start with your feet first. You need to start with your feet first. The structure of Yogveda Yoga in asana class is you have a cycle of 4 weeks. The first week is forward stretches. So you stretch your body forward. The next week or the second week is you stretch your body backwards. So you correct that front and back posture to straighten up. The third week is you twist. You do twisting postures to open specific muscles. Your swas, correct your spine, correct your specific muscles of the legs. And then the fourth is standing postures. Because when your body is straight, you can do standing postures. If you just start with standing postures in the beginning and your body is not straight, you're just doing everything wrong after that. So this is the 4 week, and that goes on continuing 4 weeks, and then it changes 4 weeks, 4 weeks. And the whole year, you have 48 weeks of yoga, asana, sessions, lessons, or periods. So each 4-week cycle is a yoga period, and then you change again. The first 4 week when you start is with your feet. So if your feet are not straight, if they are not open, if they are not pointing straight, that affects the rest of your legs. So the feet muscle, just understanding the first week or the first 4 weeks of the yoga cycle is just understanding your feet, how they should be in forward stretches, in backward stretches, in twistings, and in standing postures. The next 4 weeks is your ankle, because feet muscles are different from your ankle muscles. How your ankles move, the weight, how you shift on your feet moves with it. So if you shift your weight too much on the out, your feet are pointing outwards, or too much in, you have those X legs. So the second 4-week cycle is working on this feet, or on the ankle joint, ankle ligament, and your Achilles tendon. So you work specifically with that in the next 4-week cycle. The third 4-week cycle is your back leg, your calf muscle, your knee, your hamstring. So you do the same thing, you just work on that one muscle for 4 weeks. Now, why I just focus on one muscle? Because if you are doing too much, if you're thinking of too many things, like in some yoga methods, they're constantly talking of do this, do that, do this, your shoulder blades, your feet, your this, your that. If it's too much, you're doing nothing because you're too distracted on what you really should be focusing on. And you cannot focus on everything at the same time. That's just not possible. So if you focus on just one muscle in that 4-week cycle and understand how it works in forward, backward, twistings and standing postures, you have a good muscle memory which builds up in the 4-week posture. It's very important because you can forget what you learn, but muscle memory retains for a longer time. The 5th 4-week cycle is your front leg. So then you're only working on your front leg. Same, how it should be in forward stretches, how your front leg should be your quadricep muscle, your frontal shin muscles, how they should be in backward stretches, in twistings, in standing postures. And the idea is when you start with your feet, that's your foundation. The ankle, Achilles tendon, yes, you build it on top of it. Then you build your back leg on top of it, your front leg on. So you don't forget what you're learning. You just add something new and keep on working on it. And then the 5th 4-week cycle is your inner leg muscles, your inner leg muscles. Same, you just go through in all the postures what exactly those muscles are doing in the asanas. In the 6th 4-week cycle, you work with your hip joint, how your hip joint moves in different postures. Now, your hip joint is very important because that determines how you're going forward, how you're going backward, how you're going sideways or twisting, because those movements come from the hip joint, but there is much more to it. The movements, if the hip joint is not moving, you cannot move anywhere. So that is a very important thing which I teach in that. The 7th 4-week cycle is your buttock muscles. So you work strongly on your buttock muscles because strong buttock muscles give you a stable body posture. If you have weak buttocks, you tend to sack and collapse. And the second thing with the buttock muscle is once you have this feeling of working for 4 weeks on your buttock muscles, then you can work inside, because when you tighten your buttocks and move forward, you activate and open up your iliacus, because you have a group of 2 muscles here, the psoas and the iliacus, the iliopsoas group. And this is where what connects your lower body to the upper body. When I was speaking of the buttock muscles, when you're working on your buttock muscles, it's there you learn to activate your first chakra, your Muladhara chakra. Your iliacus, now the iliacus starts in the back of your thigh bone and then it connects to your hip lying behind. And if that is short on one side, long on one side, that gives you a shift of the hip, which is not very good. If your hip is crooked, you feel where your one leg is longer, your one leg is shorter. So you keep on working on the iliacus for 4 weeks. And then the 8th 4-week cycle, you work on your psoas. Your iliacus is connected to your second chakra, your swadhisthana, your psoas, which starts in the back of your thigh, and then connects to your lumbar spine and the last of your thoracic spine. This is connected to your third chakra, your Manipura chakra. So you work 4 weeks just on the swas, because this is, again, if you're sitting too much, the swas is not healthy. And you want your swas to be healthy. These are your spiritual muscles. The legs and all you were working were all to come towards this. Once we are done, this 8th 4-week cycle is swas and your lumbar back together. The last one, as we started with the spiritual muscles, from the buttocks, your Muladhara, your Iliacus, your Swadhisthana, and then your swas, your Manipura, and the whole lumbar group with it. Now the 9th 4-week cycle is your frontal abdomen muscles. So you work on your core to make your abdomen muscles strong, your core strong. The 10th 4-week cycle is your upper chest, your upper chest muscles, which is again your heart chakra, and opening your breath, your diaphragm, and your chest. The 11th is your upper back. So you go 1 and then behind. Work on the trapezius to work with it. And the last is your shoulder line. So that's your Vishuddhi chakra, and shoulder line, neck, front neck, back neck muscles, how they should be turning, moving in each posture. So this is how it's built up. Now when you start your class in Yogveda Yoga, the first thing you do is you work on the straps to open your body. You go downwards and upwards. It's like doing Adho Mukha Svanasana, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana on the strap on the wall. After that, you do something called Baitak. It's that sit-ups where you open your hips. I have a specific video for it. I'll link it in the description. And then you do something called the Yogveda Kriya. The Yogveda Kriya is you go through all your muscles in the body to warm them up, all the joints in the body to open them. Even you stretch the muscles of your eyes to activate and release the tight muscles of your eyes, which you get through working on the screen all day. And that is the first half of the class. Like the Yogveda Yoga lesson is 1.5 hours. It's a 1.5 hour lesson. All Yogveda Yoga lessons are 1.5 hours except Pranayama, restorative yoga, and core dynamic. And soon I'm coming with a new yoga class called 5 breaths, which you work to improve the consistency of your breath, body and mind. It's more focused on the breath and mind and body as a third aspect. So the first aspect is breath, which connects to the mind. Your body, mind, your breath, mind is a direct connection. You become how you breathe. So we need to breathe, have a very consistent breath. But again, there will be a new video also about it. So the first 45 minutes of the class is the strap work, the Baitak, and the Yogveda Kriya. The next 45 minutes of the class is the asanas, which are specific to that week, whether it's forward stretches, backward stretches, twistings, or standing postures. That's how you build up your body from the beginning of the year till the end of the year. And then again, in the beginning of the year, you restart again to build up the same way. Now each lesson you do for that week, you just do that once a year. So if you find something which is connecting, it's always good to do that lesson once again. So you can do it twice to create a better understanding of what you're feeling. Now everything is done on a yoga mat which I have designed because your geometrical placement of the feet has to be correct. If your feet are slightly off one, if your feet of the triangle in Trikonasana, for example, or Parshva Konasana, or Parivrita Trikonasana, or Adho Mukha Svanasana, if any wrong, one foot forward, one arm forward, it just creates a wrong work of asanas in your body. Your 1 centimeter front or back in Trikonasana stretches your hamstrings in the wrong way, stretches your psoas in the wrong way. So it's very important that geometrically the feet or hands, whatever is on the floor, is absolutely correct. And in my understanding, there is no yoga method in the world which is so much precise and in depth working with specific muscles from individual classes to throughout the year. Because individual classes, as I mentioned in Yogveda Kriya, you go through all your muscles and joints, which makes that your body is much more open to do the asanas. It's warm everywhere, the joints, muscles, your breath, your eyes, everything is open. So from an individual class to that individual class to the muscle you're working, throughout the year, the muscles you are working is giving you a work which is unparalleled to any other yoga method, at least what I know. I might not be knowing everything, but at least to my knowledge, Yogveda Yoga is the most comprehensive and the complete yoga method as far as I know. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, just write it down. And I'll publish a new video about the other classes also. Thank you.